and welcome to the 50th SamCam episode. Yep, we've done this 50 times. Roll the intro.
How do you like that new intro?
Yeah, so getting off to a real exciting start today. I have a double shift on Monday, which is, that's today. I don't know why I said Monday. And then tomorrow I have a night shift, so that's 2 days of my life I'm not getting back. On Wednesday, I'm gonna finish the trailer to me and Ezra's channel, and I'm going to put together as much as I can of the medley before the second day of filming. As to the end of my week, I have no idea what's going to come up this week. I'm sorry, there's a hair on the phone case that is not coming off. So there's nothing special about this vlog, specifically being the 50th vlog, but another video is coming out at around the same time. That will be the supercut of all of the intros up to this new intro. So all of the old intros in one video. Some of them have to do with the videos they're associated with, some of them are just completely random. On top of that, I will have just put up the new trailer as well. That one features the new intro, so I wanted to wait to put that out until the 50th episode where I could start using this new intro. What do you guys think of it? Tell me what you think of it below. I know I already showed you on the vlog, but still, go ahead and tell me how you feel about it. I'm good at this. Well, I can't stall anymore. I gotta go into work. Okay, bye. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I have been beaned. I tried to carry 4 things of beans at the same time and leaned a little too far back. So I'm in between prep and dishwashing. I have a 30-minute break, but I single-handedly saved the day today. One of my bosses locked himself out of the office.
I don't know what I'm doing.
And tried desperately with multiple cards to try to break into the office and get his keys back. What else is there to do? But he got out a ladder and he was like, "Hey, Sam, you think you could try doing something for me?" So I climbed up the ladder and I looked on the little ceiling panel things. And when you push that through, there was like a crawl space there. And most of it was not like gonna hold my weight. So I had to be really careful up there, and there was like hardly any room to move around. And there were wires everywhere. I took a clip of it so you can see what I'm talking about. It was very difficult to maneuver through that. And then I had to figure out how to get my feet first, and then pry up the panel above the office, and then jump down into the office to unlock the door. So yeah, he kept saying it's impossible. You can't fit through that. That's no way. I'm just like, whoop, like a boss. I'm gonna go eat some cheesecake.
Diamond, are you dead? Are you okay?
So I'm just working today on uploading various videos and scheduling them to be released later on, so I don't have to think about them anymore. Things like all of the covers that we got from the jam session at Ezra's house, or a couple of 50th episode celebration videos for next week when the 50th episode of SamCam comes out. This episode, I'm talking about the 50th episode future tense because it's future tense to me, but you're experiencing it right now. You're literally watching the 50th episode right now. It's weird. Time is weird. The intranet is weird. My hair is weird. So the videos that I mentioned earlier in this very vlog that went up at the same time as this vlog, I'm uploading those today. And you know how slow my computer goes when it comes to upload speeds, so I'm just uploading them all at once, and then I'm gonna go read some books, cause I'm studious. We just chillin'.
You guys, I just opened the door and there was a bird just standing there. Hi there, little guy. He is probably scared to death of me. Okay, goodbye.
Arrgh! Today is the day that I need to edit some more. So the first step, compiling all of the clips that we took from the filming, has been completed. And then I just now completed the second step, which is organizing the B-roll from the lip sync footage and color coding that, and then syncing all of the lip sync segments with the actual track. And now I'm on to the third step, editing what clips are shown at what time. Diamond's been pouting all day because Bethany's not here. She's been going and laying on Bethany's bed and just like flopping over. What the heck is that? Mom, that was so creepy. What were you doing?
I didn't do anything. There was a bird frantically trying to get in the window.
That window?
Yes.
I mean, like beating its wings against the window, and maybe I startled it when I came up and then he flew off.
Diamond, I was just talking about you being sad that they weren't here.
Are you happy? We're home?
Hello, Mr. Bird. We should probably name you at this point. What do you want to name him? I'm thinking Stan. What do you think?
I was thinking Arnold.
Stanley Arnoldson. Stanley, what are you doing?
What would happen if I hit the window with a pillow?
You would fly away and come back. Because Stanley always comes back.
This is the Chuck E. Cheese one? Well, I voted for it, and I'm guessing Ezra did. When I voted, there was 63% for Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay, I looked it up and it's 83% Chuck E. Cheese and 16% Y bananas. Y. So, this short story here, for some context, sophomore in high school, I just figured out that writing fiction is a lot of fun. So we were given 2 genres in a hat, and we picked out 2, and I was given horror comedy. Maybe it was like category location.
You should tilt it up. You're not getting all your hair.
Here's all my hair. Here we go. Horror at Chuck E. Cheese. It's 8 o'clock, everyone! They should be here any minute! An unplaced voice shouted from somewhere in the unusually dim light of the Chuck E. Cheese interior. They're here! Another shouted from the window. As the car carrying the birthday girl and her parents slowly parked, the group inside scattered into their hiding places, and the lights grew even dimmer. The group of hiding partygoers consisted of 3 chaperones who aren't getting paid enough, the 2 twins, Emmy and Amy Parker, who are best friends with the birthday girl Hannah. Paul is a 12-year-old bully who came for the free pizza, and his ever-present sidekick Philip. Did I name this after people? I don't know an Emmy and an Amy.
I remembered that you specifically named that after Paul and Phil, but I didn't remember that till you read it.
Why would I name Paul after a bully? That doesn't make sense.
That's hilarious, though. If you had written this nowadays, it would have been Ezra and David. You know it would have been.
Yeah, just go ahead and throw all of the characters into one paragraph.
Very expositional.
Just put in all the exposition at the beginning, and then you don't have to worry about it ever again in the rest of the story. Paul and Philip, who never had anything new of a... What? Who never had anything new of relevant to say. Who never had anything new of relevant to say, and normally just agreed with whatever Paul said. Oh, that's Phil.
Oh, poor Phil.
Poor Phil. And 4 other kids, ages 9 to 11, who didn't like Hannah at all, and only came because their parents made them. Just then, the front door opened, and in came Hannah and her parents, who were all met by 8 unenthusiastic kids yelling, "Surprise!" Then Hannah cried out, like the little brat that she was, "Chuck E. Cheese, I hate pizza!"
I love that you had to clarify she was a brat before you said the most bratty sentence ever.
This, of course, resulted in an awkward silence for about 5 seconds, at which point the little girl, turning 10 tomorrow, apparently accepted her dinner fate and put on a party hat. The parents of this ungrateful menace gave a slight nod to the 3 chaperones and briskly walked back to the car and drove speedily away, happy to be rid of her for the evening. Little did they know it would be the last they saw of her. Not that they would have cared.
I did like that sentence when I was reading it. You do have a lot of good sentences, but I don't want to spoil them.
You do have a lot of good sentences. Okay, kids, the lead chaperone Jason said while standing in front of the group. It's time to wish happy birthday to the birthday girl. But that is an exclamation point. It's time to wish happy birthday to the birthday girl.
I love that you just made it louder. That's not what exclamation points do.
Do we gotta? Whined Paul. Everyone knows Jimmy has the worst voice in school. Poor Jimmy just shrunk in his seat as Jason tried in vain to stifle a laugh, which elicited a harsh stare from the other 2 female chaperones. That's okay, cause the proprietor of the place has prepared a treat for you right up on that little stage, Jason said as he pointed to a darkly lit corner, having just now occurred to him that he hadn't seen any employees for about an hour now. This is also extremely based off the concept of the first Five Nights at Freddy's game. This was before it got popular or was hyped up or anything. I just heard about the game and was like, killer animatronics. Interesting. With that introduction, a life-sized animatronic mouse known only as, dramatic pause, Chuck, came out onto the stage and sang happy birthday in a way that can only be described as electronically creepy. The tune was relatively on cue? On cue?
I think you meant on 2.
On cue. The tune was relatively on cue until the end, at which point the already creepy characters made an eerie, sour note that echoed through the room as the spotlights to the stage abruptly went out and the giant mouse vanished into silent shadows. Ooh, silent shadows.
Did you hear that coming? Happy birthday to you!
Happy birthday to you!
Not knowing how to move on from that oddity, the three chaperones just stared into the darkness. At which point, Paul took this opportunity to jump up and startle the Parker twins. The frightened look on their faces was apparently just what he was shooting for, because he then dropped on the floor laughing hysterically as Philip applauded.
I can just imagine that. Paul's rolling on the floor and Phil's going, yes,
Yes, Paul, yes, you go.
You can do it.
Then Jason spoke, still staring towards the darkness. Thomas, get up and stop being mean. Who's Thomas? This was what happens when you introduce all the characters at the same time. Oh, okay. He says, Thomas, get up and stop being mean. My name's not Thomas, it's Paul! Yeah, so it was actually Paul, and I said Thomas as if, like, Jason didn't know who Paul was. I confused myself. Paul! The last word was spoken in a breathy, distant voice from somewhere further in the building. Everyone turned quickly. The girls screamed. The guys pretended they hadn't, and everyone stood completely frozen. And then the lights went out. Here we are. It's getting spoopy. Everyone screamed again, and Hannah yelled, I hate pizza! Worst birthday party ever! There was mass confusion and panic. Everyone was running around, bumping into one another and falling down. It would be funny if it was not for the unsettling circumstances they now found themselves in. Little Jimmy yelled, Who's Jimmy? Little Jimmy yelled, I'm scared of the dark! Then Paul yelled, Me too! And Jason yelled, Ah! Something's got me. There was a scraping sound, faint taunting laughter, and then all was silent. Everyone began to calm down and try to find their bearings. Somehow they managed to stay in a group as they staggered blindly down a hall. I need someone to check my grammar. Logan, new character. Logan, a brainiac with the stereotypical bottle cap glasses, was the first to calm down and therefore was leading the pack. Right, cause the nerd who just happens to be calm first is the one leading the pack. Following in single file due to the cramped passageway was Paul, Philip, Emmy, Amy, Jimmy, the formerly unmentioned Becky and Sally, and Hannah, who was still yelling angrily at the lights for turning off. Unknown to the children, the chaperones had been detained in the bathroom and were unable to walk because of the lack of kneecaps. What? They just started walking down a hallway. How did the chaperones... That is, the two females were. Jason was stuffed upside down in a little game with the claw. Soon, and without warning, Logan fell upon a doorknob, which of course was attached to a door. He felt a cold liquid run down his hand as he clutched the door handle and pushed. Nothing happened. It's a pull door, cork brain, muttered Paul. Logan then pulled, and it opened. Of course, nothing could be seen, but something could be felt. A tingle ran down his back, and despite his terror, he felt a strange force calling him into the doorway, and he complied without hesitation or thought.
Wait a minute.
Then the door slammed behind him. He found himself in a small closet, small enough for him to touch all of the walls from where he stood, but not able to see any of them. Then, even before he had time to think, a furry hand reached out and grabbed him. This hand belonged to the now retired Krusty the Cat, who was getting a little agitated being locked up in here after being kicked out of the show. But Logan didn't know this, and never would. The group of disloyal kids outside had already moved on, leaving Logan to his fate, and they now found themselves in the arcade room. It had one light bulb in the center, hanging from nowhere, and nowhere they could see. This dispelled any thought that the blackout was accidental. Sally was the first to speak. Look, there's Jason. They couldn't see all of the games, but they could see some, including the claw game, with Jason's kicking legs poking out of the stuffed animals. Then came Hannah's characteristically bratty reply, I'll leave him. There's enough air in there for at least a couple days. But kind-hearted Sally and her best friend Becky would have none of that, and would try 5 times unsuccessfully to claw at Jason's feet with tokens found under the game. Leaving them behind as well, the kids pressed on. We're moving away from the only light we have, Amy pointed out, but they had no other option. Oh wait, Philip claimed. I have a flashlight app on my phone. Thanks for mentioning that sooner, Hannah shot back. And so they moved on with the light of Philip's cell phone, now missing 6 of their original crew. For those of you not good at math, that leaves 5. Wait, no, 6. Anyways, this is where the narrator starts talking like a regular person. He's like, wait, no, 6. Anyways, they cautiously crept into the kitchen area, passing several grotesque knives, a turkey head, a bloody handprint, and other completely out-of-place items that had to be mentioned because why not? Hannah, now in the lead, accompanied by Philip and his phone, was hesitant to move forward and slowly took a step back. Paul, muttering something about being a sissy, sidestepped and cut around the timid girl, bravely rallying the crew forwards as he ran smack dab right into a giant plushy blob of purple and yellow fur with a green cap and plenty of large sharp teeth. This was Mr. Munch. Employed as a Chuck E. Cheese character since 1978, his ravenous appetite was never appeased, and just now he found himself quite hungry. One quick move of his hand and Paul was off the ground, screaming and flailing for dear life. Those are our nieces, ignore their screams. Philip, in the face of this danger to his hero, stepped into action and grabbed a large knife from the countertop. Mr. Munch dropped Paul, distracted by Phil swinging the large kitchen knife through the air like a sword. Chaos ensued as the three silhouettes danced in a deadly tango for only a moment, until a horrifying squeal was emitted by Paul, and as he collapsed onto the floor, bleeding profusely, there was momentary stillness as Hannah picked up the dropped phone and shone the light to reveal Paul on the ground, with the knife protruding from through his shoulder blades as he lay on in a writhing heap. Then Hannah averted the light as Mr. Munch leaned down and ate off his head. With another rant from Philip, who still didn't know what was happening. Mr. Munch retreated to the pantry. This move, however, did not save Philip from his fate, for out of the shadows an unseen figure stole him away as it whispered, "I'm going to feed you to the ice machine."
That's my favorite line. That's always been my favorite line.
I'm going to feed you to the ice machine.
The last remaining children, with Hannah leading the way, ran down a hallway with no thought or care, just running blindly in terror, completely forgetting that the front door is still unlocked and wide open for anyone to escape. Stumbling down the corridor, there was a low rumble, and they saw through the doorway that a tank of hot cheese was about to explode. Momentarily distracted, Hannah tripped, resulting in a pile of 4 children on top of one another, with Jimmy on the top. Then with a deafening bang, the steaming cheese went flying in all directions. Ow! That's hot! Wait a minute, how do I feel that? I'm the narrator. At any rate, the kids flew against the wall, and Jimmy, who had taken most of the blast of deadly cheese, promptly burst into flames and ran away screaming. As the others looked on for a moment and then continued their blind getaway to nowhere, they went deeper into the ever-deepening depths of the building. They went down some stairs, took a left, over a random body, under a ladder, went right, through several doorways, past the torture chamber, took 4 rights, dodged an axe, and through a final doorway. Finally ending up in a small room with the haunting mastermind himself, Chuck. The room was completely closed in with brick on all 4 sides, leaving them to ponder how the dickens they got in there. The only beings there were the 3 of them, Chuck and I, of course, to dictate what gory details are to follow. They didn't have the time to ponder very long, because just then, Chuck began to move closer, with his blood-red eyes and huge brick teeth, headed straight for me? What? No! You're not supposed to know I'm here! Wait! Ah! Due to technical difficulties with the narrator's face, he no longer can narrate. Therefore, this story is over. And that's how the story ends. The end! I guess the 4 kids starved.
Sam, did you say with his 2 brick teeth?
with his blood-red eyes and huge buck teeth. That was a lot of fun. I chose the stories I chose as the options because those were the ones I remember being short enough to put into a vlog. I have plenty of other short stories that are a bit longer. I think it would be fun if I, every once in a while, put out a standalone video where I just read one of my short stories from the past, because that was a lot of fun. Do you think you would enjoy that? Tell me if you would enjoy that.
You should at least explain the storyline of Why Bananas Why for the one person who chose it. You should at least explain what it's about.
Why Bananas Why is basically just an essay rant on bananas. Isn't that the example I gave when I was explaining inverse silver lining?
Yeah,
I said,
did, actually.
It's kind of like if you said bananas, I said, you know, the peel is always so hard to get off. It was basically that, but long form. This week, I'm just going to have you challenge me to do something next Saturday. Come up with a challenge
We get
for
to
me.
see challenge videos?
You get to give me a challenge. So leave your challenge ideas below. Wibbly wobbly. We're gonna go hang out with our nieces. So I'll see you next week.
I
don't know what I'm doing.